Hello again, folks, and welcome back to home. Let's continue, shall we? It sounds like we're fairly close to our home. Oh boy, there's a lot of things that we can... Okay, let's check them in order then. Let's head back this way. We had just found out that our wife's old clothes were at this fellow, Norman, our old co-worker. They were at his house for some reason. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. Oh, so we're really close to home. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. That reminds me of Hans Mole Man from The Simpsons. This isn't my house. Okay. That door only led me back. I had to find my house. So maybe I didn't need to make a new video for this. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll just string them together. Hello. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out, as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't tight, but did I look at the letter? The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did? Well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out, away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him, Norman. So don't you think you can hold that against me? I'm going to tell him, Norman, so don't think you can hold that against me. Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. David, your wife. Your wife was... I'd say she was cheating on him, right? With Norman? Norman, old boy? That's not cool. Of course, it explains why her clothes were there, but... The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. There's blood on the wall leading up to this house. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. I'm actually creeped out here, folks. This is very, very creepy. Oh, is that blood as well? I think it is. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. Oh boy, this is creepy. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday? Or some time before? Okay. This is getting creepier. There was a small pile of mail on the floor, in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. This is legitimately creepy, folks. The door to the basement. It was locked. Where had I put the damn key? Did you check upstairs? The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. This is so creepy. For being just like an 8-bit game, it's really... The atmosphere is just nailed. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminded me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Stolen identity. Probably that's a trophy for finding all my stuff. Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then, it was too late. Okay. We'll keep going upstairs, because that door is stuck shut. This is so creepy. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Oh, man. Oh, man. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books I did. What? My wife's, Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it? Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days' worth of clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt that I had found. Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster? Oh boy. Folks, this is so incredibly creepy. This is the bathroom. Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. Is that lucky? I don't know. Folks, I'm legitimately afraid of what I'm going to find in here. This is so creepy. Yeah? My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? I pocketed the key. Okay. There was a locked door somewhere. Probably to the basement, right? Let's head downstairs then. There was a door over here. Ah, it was stuck. Okay. Alright, folks. I unlocked the basement door. Let's go. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Okay. We had way too much junk. Looked like there was a plaster and an old trowel in here, too. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. Okay. Let's keep searching, then. This didn't make any sense. Okay, so I need something. Something to break that down with. Whew, God. Folks, I just have chills right now. This is creeping me the hell out. Okay. Let's see. What could I use to break down the wall? Let's see. What can we use? I have this key still. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? So is that what I used this key for? Because this was stuck before. Oh. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. That's going to be what gets us into that room in the basement, folks. Brace yourselves. Man, just, oh. The atmosphere in here is just terrific. Okay, room. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Was she okay? Oh, folks, I'm so creeped out. Blood. Don't look, that's what that says. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Wait, I get to choose if we find her? No. I don't want to find Rachel in a bag. The rags were wet, matted, covered in dirt and grime. But inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. I looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home. Didn't I? Then, the awful realization hit me right in the gut. I had been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion, and as I tried to grab hold of something that would make sense of all this, I must have drifted off. Okay. I guess these books were all actually mine, then. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Pretty sure. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? This is weird, folks. This is so weird. What's in here? In the dirty, faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. I used to tell myself that Rachel was the one who wanted to keep that tub. This is so weird. It was the key card I found at the bottom of that factory locker. I never did bother to use it. Someone had been going through those lockers and poking around the plant. Still, it didn't quite add up. Was I the one who had been going back to the factory? Somebody was using that locker room, but it definitely wasn't me. I'd given up drinking, remember? I said no there, folks, by the way. The laptop had finally run out of power. This is weird. Oop. It was the letter I had taken from the post box. It had gotten a bit wet in the rain, but well, who wrote that letter then? Who was Norman seeing? Oh no, Norman. If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I do that horrible thing to him? No, I couldn't have. I clearly wasn't seeing things correctly, but no. I could never do something like that. This is so confusing. I had that old TV for so long, I don't know if I could ever replace it. This is very strange, folks. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. It used a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I had left it somewhere. 8 names written alongside those odd marks in different colors were printed in that notebook. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk deep within those musty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? This is incredibly confusing. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Okay, we'll go back to the basement. The pile of mail on the floor I now saw was addressed to me. Bills, credit card offers, a letter from the bank. They were all addressed to me. No, let's not leave yet. Let's not leave the house just yet, guys. I want to see what else I'm going to find in this house. Hopefully explain some of this. How many breakfasts had I eaten there completely alone? This is actually kind of depressing now, folks. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Alright. Back down to the basement we go then, folks. The wall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector that the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house. But by the look of that wall, I was going to need to fix the foundation. So there was no hidden room in there? What? There's nothing in here. I don't understand. That was it. With Rachel gone, I couldn't stand to be in that house a moment longer. Did I leave and say goodbye to that nightmare forever? I guess? Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense some time after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. I suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. It would have spared me a lot of pain. For starters, the man I found in that old place, who had killed him? And why was I even there? After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? And what had I been doing at Norman's place, or even in that old forest? It didn't look good, that's for sure. Had I been responsible for what had happened there? What did you think? Was I guilty, or was I just mad? That forest, though, was no escape either. That notebook especially left me troubled. I remembered seeing a similar list on that desk back in the tunnels. Who were the girls mentioned there? I suspected there was more to those woods than I knew, though I had no intention of going back. I know what you're thinking. That factory, that room with all the bottles, and the old locker. You think it was me going back there, don't you? Well, even you admitted it wasn't, so how could that be? No, someone else must have been going there. But think, who else could have done it? I had to catch my breath to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's where the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. Damn it, Norman. What were you doing with Rachel? I mean, what was going on? If all this was a lie, then what was really happening? Someone had killed Norman in his store, but it wasn't me. Who else would have wanted him dead? But as painful as all that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end to this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. The silence in the house when I had first stepped through the kitchen door, that should have been my first clue. To think that I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Did you know before the end? Did you mock me when you finally showed me the truth? You don't know what it's like to have everything ripped away from you in a heartbeat. How could I possibly go on, now knowing what I do? Without Rachel, even the thought of Rachel, I was truly lost. As the door swung open, I could smell damp grass and the closeness of the air. After everything, it felt like I had more questions than answers. You made me see the truth, I'll give you that, but now I was completely lost. You took away the only thing that had kept me going. I was sure word would get out, and soon enough, the police would come looking for me. And what then? Would you be there to show me the way? What will I do then? This is that... Okay. Okay. Well, folks, I can't say that that game was completely straightforward. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredibly confusing, actually, but God, that was interesting, though. So, we're kind of we're completely determining the story as we go for this poor protagonist. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. That's pretty funny. The end. Question mark? Please do a question mark. Okay. Well, folks, I suppose that's going to be it. Please let me know what you thought about this game. Benjamin Rivers, you have just blown my mind, sir. Let me know if you think I should play it again, maybe choosing some significant differences and, of course, exploring those places that I didn't get a chance to explore. Let me know, folks. Let me know what I should do. Let me know what you thought of this game, and maybe we'll see if we can, at some point, do another playthrough and maybe choose yes about seeing Rachel in a bag. It was so creepy. It was really well done. It was really well done, and just the atmosphere was excellent. I don't know, folks. It was a very strange ending, that's for sure, because he started questioning me as the player and the decisions that I'd made, as if I had made the decisions and ruined his life for him. So then I just felt really sad, and it's kind of depressing, isn't it? Anyways, folks, well, thank you very much for joining me for another Let's Play. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, and I shall see you guys on the next Let's Play, whatever that may be. Take care, folks.